여러분, 제가 드디어 이사를 했답니다. 정말 꿈만 같아요. 그렇게 어려운 길들을 이렇게 좋은 집에 오려고 일주일에 2번이나 이사를 하는 그런 시기를 겪었나 봐요. 그래서 일단은 글 작업 잘할 수 있도록 랩톱, 그리고 오늘도 레이니 재즈이고요. 요즘에 이렇게 보시다시피 계속 비가 오기 때문에 레이니 재즈를 자주 틀어놓습니다. 그리고 제가 오늘 이사 기념으로 산 캔들 고지베리 소이 왁스로 만들어졌는데 향이 너무 좋아요. 그리고 네, 드디어 에어 매트리스가 아닌 진짜 침대에서 잘 수 있다는 게 너무 신나요. 그리고 아직 정돈되지 않은 저의 이 drawers. 그러니까 일단은 이 chest of drawers는 아래 셀러에 있었던 거를 이제 빼내온 건데요. 제 아이패드 그리고 제가 좋아하는 향수들. 요 향수 2가지는 티ffany 앤 클로이는 제가 인천공항에서 넘어올 때 저 자신한테 준 선물이었어요. 근데 거의 많이 못 썼고 티ffany 같은 경우는 요만큼 썼고 클로이는 거의 안 썼어요. 네. 그리고 이거는 제가 Burberry 향수. 네. 그리고 워낙 여기서 손을 많이 씻기 때문에 핸드크림 막 몇 가지가 있고 립밤 이것도 Burberry, Calvin Klein 요 향수도 다 사은품으로 이 티ffany하고 클로이 샀을 때 같이 온 거고 이거는 제 뭐 귀걸이, 액세서리 보관함입니다. 이렇게 해서 네 너무 행복해요. 너무 행복한 이유가 이 침대가 생겼다는 거가 너무 행복해요, 진짜. 왜냐면 제가 지난 한 3주 반을 에어 매트리스에서 지냈거든요. 그래서 지금 사실 이 이불 그 커버는 지금 아래 세탁기에서 빨고 있고, 네, 제 방이 이렇게 생겼다라는 게 너무너무 기뻐요. 오늘의 저의 룸 투어는 여기서 아주 심플한 룸 투어를 여기서 마치도록 할게요. Bye! So as you saw, my room is all set. I am very happy to finally move into my room. I don't know how long I will be living in this place, but for now at least I have a roof over my head where I could sleep well. And gosh, you know, I was so happy the day that I moved in here and I got my new bed. Like I was so happy that at night, the night that I laid myself down in this bed, I just couldn't contain my happiness, how comfortable it felt. And I mean, so I did not want to forget that emotion, so I kept on opening up my journal and I kept on writing how thankful I felt that I finally got to a place where I could feel safe and peaceful. So what happened, in a long story short, what happened was that I was really drawn to the nonprofit organization in the UK that matches up an older elderly person with a younger student, a younger professional, and the younger professional or younger student would provide, companionship, friendship to the elderly in compensation, who would give out his or her room in the flat or in the house, and they will live together. And I thought that was a fantastic cause, and I decided to do it, especially with my employment contract being revoked. I was under quite a lot of pressure in terms of my finances, and I had to find a way to find my own housing to be able to support myself. And I thought, this is a really great idea, and the rent is about 80% of what you would pay average rent in London. And as you could imagine, London housing prices are crazy, rent as well. So I looked into it, and I've got asked references. I went through a DBS check, which is basically a proof that you are not a dangerous person, you haven't committed a crime or stuff like that. So I went through all of that, all of the procedure. It took about 3 weeks. So the first week of August was when I found out about my employment contract being revoked, and I was panicking because I had to write my dissertation. Not only that, I had to find a job right away. I had to find a housing because my housing contract with the student accommodation hall would end early September. So I only had like a month left to do all of this all together, and that was an immense pressure, and my acnes were just breaking out completely. And the first few days of when I found out about my employment contract being revoked, I just couldn't get out of this frustration, and I was just bawling because I didn't know what to do. My whole year was planned out, and then that plan got completely shattered. So basically, after a long 3 weeks of arduous work of putting application together and meeting the person that I will be working with, and I thought, hey, this is gonna work, and I understand what it is like to build a relationship with elderly people, because I grew up with all the elderly people in my high school, my host families. I have extensive experiences with elderly people that I knew I had to be committed if I want to make this work. And it's a big commitment, especially with an elderly person, because I did not want to break their heart in any ways. So I prayed. I prepared myself for it, and I went in, and just after first couple of days, I realized that this is not gonna work, because first of all, just the person that I was staying in had a completely different mindset. She did not understand the fact that this was a volunteering work. I'm not being a personal servant to her, and I'm not being a personal assistant to that person. But the person did not understand the whole concept of volunteering, and I was treated like a personal assistant or personal slave, and I really didn't feel comfortable at all. Like I felt like my soul was bought to this person, and I had to be home by certain times. I'm completely okay with, providing light house chores, doing dishes it's just way of my expressing my thanks to that person. So I'm completely fine with those kind of things. But the way the person treated me, the way the person communicated with me the way the person started being angry at me for the reasons that the person should not be, that's when I realized that I needed to get out of there, because I was literally abused psychologically, literally being abused. And it hurt me quite a lot when I went there with really good intention, and when I had to move out again, it was a big decision as well. Like, my friend happened to have a spare room that she was using as an office, where I was able to move in, and I was staying there with just an air mattress for 3 weeks, and now I finally have a bed, and that was just a miraculous feeling. But the day that I was gonna move out, the person started telling me how when I opened the door of my house, I wanted someone who would come in with a good intention, but you did not. And the person started telling me all these racist remarks about how the person really wanted a nice petite Asian girl who would fit her bed, and that she would be intellectual enough to have a conversation. It started going. I'm not going to talk about all the details that have happened, because those were some really traumatic remarks, and it was really a first-hand encounter of racial discrimination, or how I did not belong to North London or something like that, whatever she tried to say. But what I'm saying is that my housing situation did not work out, and that's how I ended up 피신했어요 to my friend's place. My friend was so kind enough to let her office be my temporary room, and I stayed there for 3 weeks with just an air mattress. I was fine with it, and then I finally moved into this room with a bed finally, and also it's a double bed. I've been living in this tiny little single bed in a student accommodation hall for a year, and it was so funny. I turned around and I thought that I would fall off the bed, but I still was on bed. It had so much space. So what I'm trying to say is that a lot of people think that studying abroad is fantastic, and it's rich people do it, rich kids do it with daddies and mommies plastic cards. Well, I may look young, but I'm like halfway to 70s here, and there are also lots of people who make their decisions to study further because they believe in the values. They're convinced that they gotta do this because it's the right thing to do in their career, in their life now. And I feel as if though it's a month has passed since I got out of that place. I can't be any more grateful that I am here, where I'm with another very lovely flatmate who is incredible in many ways. She has already started her PhD journey, and we can always talk about what we are passionate about in terms of academic work, research, and everything. So it's just wonderful. But to get here, I had to go through so much pain and like unnecessary events that hurt me, but I also know that this will be my story. This will be my experiences, and this has driven me. This has given me even a more solid purpose in what I want to pursue to do. And that's what I'm just trying to say, that no matter what happens in life, there will be hurtful things, there will be painful things, there will be people who will always try to put you down, there will be people who will always tell you that you can't do it, there will be people who can't see the potential that you see in yourself. But if you're convinced you can do it, don't let anybody take your happiness away. Don't let anybody take your dreams away, take your faith away, because they have no shares in your life. They really don't. And last thing I want to say is, all in all, all those painful things have strengthened me, have made me become stronger. And I am really, really excited that I have these experiences to share, so that someone's stories can inspire others. And I know that all of you have your own stories, and your stories are the power. Your story is what is going to make you special. Don't treat your own stories as ordinary or not special, because you may not know the values and the powers that your own stories have, like mine. So I wanted to share that. Oh, I also need to share, last night I watched Becoming Again, the documentary about Michelle Obama, and she was saying how she was going through a lot of racial discrimination all her life. And she was sharing this one incident where at work, her colleagues would be like, "Oh, we just said it as a joke, you take that so seriously." But she was saying, what you say as a joke can shape someone's soul and change someone's soul for good. And that's what I want to tell people. When you say something, your word has impact, and it really is a double sword. So remember that. Yeah, so I'm super excited to film my videos from now on in this new room, and yeah, thank you so much for all your support, and yeah, I'm really excited to share my journey with you guys.